Hello, everyone. This is Holly Chantal, the president of the Land of Brand, and you have reached the Land of Brand LOBoratory, or as we like to call it, the LOBoratory, which is a place for you to experiment in your business. And every week I give you another topic about strategy or mindset or something that you can try in your business, because I believe the best way to grow is to experiment, reflect, and adjust. So it's all about finding what works for you, because there is no cookie cutter solution to growing a coaching business. Unlike some might have you believe, it's really different for everyone. So today we're going to be talking about how to be the best control freak you can be. So how do you take control of your business, especially when you're, a little bit of a hands-on, need to be in control kind of person? Because really that's most every business owner. So every business owner I know is a control freak. They say that they started their business because they want freedom, and that's just a nice way of saying that they want to be able to control their time. They want to know, they want to be able to do what they want when they want to. And that is experienced as freedom, but it's also created through control. These two things go hand in hand. But you can't control everything, right? Like you can't control how many people are on your website or how many clients you're taking per month. Sometimes you have a lot, sometimes you have a few. It's really out of your hands. Or you can't how many emails you answer in a day, how many you receive, fires that need to be put out or being pulled in a million different directions. Those things are out of your control. What time your 3-year-old gets up in the morning? Clearly, that is not something you control, right? Not always necessarily true, because there are ways you can have influence all over these things. You can't, say I'm going to make 5,000 people come to my website and I am going to make 20 people schedule coaching calls with me. That's not really how this kind of control works. So you can't really dictate, but you can influence these things. So everything in your business has an element that can be controlled. And when you exert influence on that element, it helps you create that freedom and do much more in your business by choice instead of acting from a reactionary standpoint. So what kind of result you get will be based on how aligned your brand is. So your brand is really that point of influence, where when your brand is in alignment with who you are and who you serve and what you do, and it's communicating that in every touch point, in every experience someone has with you, that begins to exert more influence and gives you more control in how many people you're attracting, how many of them are the right people, how many end up signing up with you. Your business model is a piece of your brand, which dictates how many clients you take per month and what your schedule looks like. So from your brand comes control. Most coaches are running in reactive mode. What that means is they are responding to what they're seeing in their business. So this is who I'm attracting now, so I'm going to create this program to support them. This is something that I see a lot with my clients when I ask them, like a kind of a symptom of this is when I ask them, who is your target audience? They don't, or who is your ideal client? They don't say who they want to serve. They tell me who has been coming to them. So who is coming to me right now is blankety blankety blank. Not my ideal client that I want to serve is blankety blankety blank. There's a subtle distinction there between who is coming to you and who you want to attract. Because if who is coming to you is different than who you really want to attract, that's a branding issue. So if you're finding that you keep telling yourself that you want a certain type of client, that you want to create a certain type of program, yet you keep kind of coming up against being able to do that because who you're attracting doesn't fit that description, that's a branding problem. When you influence your brand and align it with who you really, when you align your brand with who you really want, then it influences who you attract. Or another one is, my clients are resistant to blank, so I'm going to structure my offer to fit. For example, I've been working with a fitness instructor, and we've come up against this a couple times when we're creating her program of, the clients that I'm working with now wouldn't really go for that, as in, how many times they're actually going to be doing exercises and stretches each week. I'm going to get resistance on that. What I've been doing is, you know, cutting that back to only 2 to 3 days instead of 5 days. Or, the length of time that they sign up with her. Well, most people are only going to sign up for a 3-month package, but I really think that 4 to 5 months is what they need to get results. So if you are changing the structure of your programs to suit to suit the resistance you're getting, when you have your brand speak the reasoning behind why you've made those choices, why you need to work out 5 days a week instead of 3, why you need to work 4 months instead of 3, it adds a layer of credibility because you are the expert. And when you are telling your clients what they need to do to get the best results and that this is what you're going to expect of them, you attract a different type of client. You attract a client that trusts you because you're telling them something that other people just kind of let slide. You're being very honest with them. It doesn't mean there's no flexibility, but they're clear that if they make adjustments to your plan, they're not going to get the type of results that they are looking for. That what you're doing requires a commitment, and it requires them to maybe make some adjustments in their schedule. And in this case, the client that I'm working with, she helps them through that. That's kind of one of the perks of what she does, is that she gives them the mindset tools and the time management tools in order to make that commitment. Again, that's really making her program and your program tailored to that ideal client and getting them the best results possible. And when when you change the language and how you're describing things, you're going to attract people that really, really want that. You're going to get less resistance, and you're going to be putting out less fires. Remember I mentioned at the beginning, although you don't have any control over the number of emails you're receiving, you do. When you set expectations, you're going to have less fires to put out, basically. This is smart. So acting in responsive mode, so responding to what's going on in your business, is smart for the short term. I'm not telling you that you should change your target market on a dime. I'm not telling you that you should change how your products and programs are structured right now. This is for the short term, this is smart. But when you're thinking about your brand and what you want in your business, you need to think long term. So this is who I'm attracting now, but this is who I want to attract. These are the programs I'm offering now. This is what I want to be offering a year from now. And adjust your brand accordingly. Adjust the messaging, the marketing, everything you're talking about. That all gets adjusted for the new audience. And then you begin to attract the people that are ready for those offers. Then you begin to talk to clients that already have the correct expectations, and you're not feeling like you're wheeling and dealing when you're trying to get them to sign up, kind of thing. Like you know what's right for them, but I'm going to make some adjustments here because otherwise they're not going to sign up with me. Not usually the case. They're hiring you as an expert. They want you to tell them what they need to do. So think long term, begin making adjustments now, knowing it's not going to have an immediate impact because it takes a while to get traction. It takes a while for people to begin to change their perception around you if you've been doing things a certain way for so long. So think long term with your brand, but of course respond in the short term because you don't want your business to fall down around your ears. That would not be good either. So what is your vision? Who do you want to be working with? Who is your ideal client that you want? Not who you're serving now. Who do you want? What kinds of programs do you want to be offering? So that could be the topic, that could be the structure. Basically, what would your ideal business look like where you're teaching or you're coaching or you're leading communities in a certain way in a certain topic area. And then what do you believe will get the best results for your clients? So when you're structuring your program, what is really going to get them from point A to point B? Point B being what they're hiring you for. What is going to be the best way to do that? And why do you do it that way? Because that's the missing link in most marketing, and why you get resistance or why the program you launched doesn't work, because you're not explaining why you're doing it that way. This is a 3-month program because you are going to be working 3 hours a week because when you explain it, it makes sense, and then you get more buy-in and more trust, and you're seen as the expert because you're not mincing words. You're not being too wishy-washy. You're very confident in that this is what's going to get your clients the best results. So here's what you need to do in order to take control. These are just 2 steps. There's multiple steps within these steps, but there's 2 big picture steps here. 1, get clear. Get clear on who your ideal client is. Get clear on what you stand for. So that means how you're structuring your program. That means the things that are important to you, your expectations. So getting clear what your brand stands for. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is how I do it. You need to be confident in that. When you're so clear on that, you're going to be setting the correct expectations, and your business is not going to be in control of you. You will be in control of your business. And you need to get clear on what your ideal schedule and business model is like. This, just to put it in perspective, this stymied me for a really long time, and it's all about mindset. I would end up, doing a big webinar, and I'd have a ton of clients that are very condensed, and I'd be super, super busy, so busy I couldn't focus on anything else. And then when those clients dried up, I'd have, long stretches of time where I didn't have as many clients, and that time was spent, getting ready to do another webinar, or getting ready to do another course, or getting ready to do something else big, and then I'd end up with this kind of I feel like I should be playing an accordion. I wish I had an accordion sound effect here. Like, I felt like this is my clients, basically. It was like condense, stretch, condense, stretch. And that is so frustrating in your business. So what I did is I got really clear on what my business model was, how many clients I wanted to have per at a certain time, and began creating a waiting list, began booking clients out, so that I, every now and then I have more. My ideal number is about 4 a month, or 4 at a time, rather. I like to have 4 clients at a time. That allows me to focus on them. I get immersed in their business. Like, I become their brand, basically. When I have like 8, it's really hard to kind of keep track of that many personas, keep track of that many people's journeys. But when I have 4, I can really, really focus on them. So that's what's going to get my clients the best results, right? So that is something that I stand for. So now what I do is I book my clients out. If I have 4, I can start basically 1 client a week. So that means that if I get 8 clients at once, I do a big webinar, I have 8 clients at once, that means that I'm going to be booked out for 2 months. And it took me a long time not to figure that math out. That part's easy. But the mindset around booking clients out in advance, that's the hard part. But when you know what you stand for, and that is the best thing for your clients, and you can articulate that, you get the buy-in much easier. That's about creating the influence and taking control. And then being consistent. Being consistent means gearing your marketing toward that client, not waffling, not going back on what's easy for you, what you've done in the past, going to what matters now. What topics is this ideal client interested in? What kind of language, what kind of messaging do they respond to? And being consistent with that. Making sure that your expectations are clear throughout your sales process. Expectations on how much work you expect them to be putting in. Expectations on how long you expect things to be taking. Expectations on just even how they're in contact with you. When you make sure that your expectations are clear throughout that process, you're going to attract clients that are you're just going to have a much easier time working with. So again, we're exerting control over the type of client we're getting, the number of clients we're getting, and how many fires you're putting out in your email inbox. And then last, create a plan for how you're going to structure your day and stick to it. So like I said, that was a big aha for me when I really created the plan for structuring my day, and then I stuck to it, and now I have like my perfect schedule. Now I can do a big webinar and be booked out for a few months with not too many clients, enough that I still have enough time to work on other things, so my projects aren't getting backburnered, and I'm really enjoying all of the work I'm doing all of the time. And that's really what you want in your business. That's why you started, right? Because you wanted freedom. Freedom is really about control. So when you know your brand, you can exert control over your business. Your brand influences all of the things that you feel are out of control, but they're really not. So I thought I had one more slide. I don't. Surprise, the end. So I do see a question over here. So I'm going to look at that in just a second. If you have any questions or anything to add, go ahead and type them in the Q&A box or the chat. When I say over here, I have another monitor. So it is September 20th at 12 o'clock is our next laboratory. And we're going to be talking about building brand authority and your list with the community webinar, a la the laboratory. So how do you start this kind of community call? And how do you keep up with it? So that's what we're going to be talking about next week. And just a heads up, we've been meeting every week for about 2 months now. We're going to be going back to a twice-a-month schedule in October because the Trailblazers Collaborative is launching next week, and that's going to be, I'm going to be doing calls with them on the alternate Wednesdays. So I will let you know when that happens. It's going to be basically changing to the second and fourth Wednesday of every month at noon. So you'll be able to update your calendars. And if you have questions about that, let me know. And just a quick announcement that the Trailblazers Collaborative is opening next week on Wednesday at 10 a.m. And the cart's only going to be open for a certain period of time. So if you're thinking about that, you might want to check out the sales page now, see if it's something for you before that date comes. So you can make the decision ahead of time. Now you have plenty of time to think about it. So let's see, question. Jim says, think about a roller coaster. Slow down when you get to the top, you get clients, and then you go fast to go down working on projects and not marketing. Yeah, so when you don't have clients, there's like no resistance, and you're working, you're able to work on all those things, and then you get clients, and all of a sudden you slow right down. That's exactly what happens. Thank you, Jim, for adding that. All right, so I don't see any other questions and nothing else anyone has added. So I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday, and I will see you on September 20th. Bye, everyone.